the Unexplained podcast. From a haunted abandoned asylum to Sasquatch lurking in the dark woods and watching you, and all things unexplained. Here are the stories from outside our realm. With your host, Bill Rigby.
Hey, everybody. I'm really excited about tonight's guest. You guys seen what I wrote about him, and I say that to his face. I'm not going to let him sit in the back room too long. I'll bring him right in. There he is, my man Sparky.
What's up, Bill? And hey, you'll get all that money for all the compliments next time I see you.
I'll drive up to your place tonight. No. No. I'm dead serious. Dude, you're awesome. You really are. And I really appreciate going out with you and learning with you. And we do this stuff together. It's not just me, but it's all of us together. I kind of screwed up and didn't bring up my thingy here.
All right,
so I can see who's speaking.
So.
But anyhow, I'm going to bring up something. When you and me were out that one evening, and we parked down, we went down through the ponds and parked down there. We got out, we're checking things out. We caught something off to our left. Couldn't tell exactly what it was. Then we start walking down the trail.
Yeah.
And we're hearing something across that little pond to the right. Now the lake's to the left, the pond's to the right. And we're hearing something over there, you and me both.
Yeah.
And you go, I don't know for sure what that is. And I'm like, I don't know either. But we get down, I don't know how far in, but the overgrown brush on both sides, I start getting a really bad feeling. And I turned and looked at you. I said, Sparky, you get a weird feeling here? And you go, a little bit. I said, mine's kind of bad. Right away, you said, let's go. We're out.
Yep.
And that's how researchers should work together. If someone's having a bad feeling, a bad gut feeling that they shouldn't go farther, instead of pushing forward, back out. But soon as we turned around, you spotted something that went across the trailhead.
Yes.
And you said, well, it's kind of tall, but it could have been a leaf. I'm thinking, ain't no damn leaf that big. Oh, there he goes, throwing me on the floor again.
Yeah, I'm throwing myself and my phone. Hopefully it doesn't break the damn thing. Cord tangled around my leg there.
Right. But anyhow, we get out to the end and it went from right to left. So I walked off to the left a little bit and you and me found a print there.
Yes.
So it could have been, they could have been boxing us in. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, here's my whole thing on not so much on what it was, because like I said, we didn't see enough. All I seen was like a movement going across the trail. I couldn't tell. Something blocked the light, crossing the trail in front of us. I couldn't tell shape. I couldn't tell if it was a person, a Bigfoot. Like I said at the time, I thought it was a leaf just blown across and just flickered through the light. But then we found a footprint. But my whole thing is, do you remember the TV show from our age, Magnum P.I., the original one, Tom Selleck?
Yes.
What I like about that show, and I think what most people are missing these days, is he always talked to his little voice in his head. He always had that little voice that he always talked in his head with.
Yep.
we all get that too. We all have those little voices, but we don't listen to them. You had that little voice telling you that it was, a bad, scene going down, and I was starting to get that. It's like, you got to use, that little voice is telling you something, and we don't understand it. It's time to just go ahead and listen to the little voice, and let's go from there.
You're right. Exactly. And that's why I said, listen to your gut. I always say that. But I feel whatever it was, and whatever was on the other side of the other pond, and possibly something on the other side of that brush, they were trying to box us in.
That was the what my little voice was telling me, was that we were walking into a ambush.
Right.
But and then when you said your voice was screaming, "Get out of there!" It's like that was all the confirmation I needed. Let's go.
Yeah. And usually that stuff don't bother me so much, but that one was very, very serious feelings.
Yeah.
And that's why I said something to you. If I didn't feel like it was that serious, I would have kept my mouth shut and saying, "Oh, it's just my mind." But and you and me been out to different places together.
Yes, we have.
Man, we have really inspected a lot of things and still didn't come up with nothing.
Well, that's why we're both still poor.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I always say we never get rich doing this. Just cost us money. But with all honesty, when we're looking at stuff, and you pointed a couple things out to me, says, "What do you think?" And I tell you, you go, "Yeah, that's about right. That's about right." Yeah, and and I feel privileged that you're giving me some confirmation of how I'm looking at this stuff. And
I'm not an expert. You've talked to as many people, if not more people, than I have that are in this paranormal world. And nobody, like me and you have talked about, nobody knows for sure. So yeah, if you've seen something and you're saying, "Yeah, this is what I'm thinking, what it is," yeah, that's what I'm going with then.
And that one spot, and we walked down to the creek or the river. I'm not sure what it was, but we're looking across. There was that bank up there, but there was that landing. And you were saying some stuff was seen over there and that. And I'm looking and I'm saying that ridge up there is a good vantage point.
Mm-hmm.
And I end up saying that to you. You said that was a good eye. And I do look for, I guess that's the hunter in me.
Right.
Yeah, I look at this stuff that way. What is the best vantage point? What is a good funnel situation to, like, for an ambush? Like that trail we were on.
Right. That was a perfect, there was one way in and one way out.
Yes. Because actually that trail ended at the lake, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
If we kept going straight, our only way out would have been to swim.
And it was kind of cold that night.
Yeah, I think it was like 20 or 30 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of cold that night, so I really didn't want to go swimming. But let's regress a little bit. We did see something over here on that little hill.
Right.
And it was like 4 feet up and had a little bit of eye shine, but you could tell it was on the other side of that hill. And you told me, and that's the first time I really noticed that hill. And even though I was back there in the daytime, never really paid close attention. You says, "Bill, on the other side is the lake. That goes almost straight down."
Right.
And it's standing on the other side of that hill.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, okay.
See, now that's what I like about how, like you, Jamie King, how we do things. We have a little small area that we focus on.
Right.
And this way in it, you can tell when something's wrong or something's different. Where a lot of people that are going, okay, well, there's a Bigfoot sighting here in Montana. And they head out to Montana. Oh, there's one now in West Virginia, now in Texas. They're there for 3 days or a week. They don't know the ins and outs of everything, that's going on in that particular area. I can go in there and I see a tree that's down and go, well, that wasn't down a week ago. Have we had any windstorms or did we get any, snowfall or what would
Right.
cause the tree to go?
Right. And what gets me, all right, like with my sighting I had, thanks to Jack Warren, I see he's out there, but he invited me down to that camp out.
Right.
I didn't think I was going to see anything. That's not my normal area that go research. How you doing, Jack?
Hey, Jack.
That's from Jack there. Hello, everybody. I'm not ignoring you all. But my first night there, I had a sighting, which I never even thought I would because Salt Fork, come on, everybody goes to Salt Fork. Everybody's looking for Bigfoot. I want to hear the Ohio howl. Well, I got to see Bigfoot. I didn't get to hear my Ohio howl yet, but yeah, I didn't know the area. I know the area is pretty much now because I've gone back a lot. But yeah, so I got to agree with you. Oh, yeah, there's a sighting in Montana. Let's go out there for 3 to 5 days. What the hell are we going to find?
Right.
We don't know the area, and we're going to try to study it in 3 to 5 days. We'd be lucky.
Right. All you're going to do is go to where they've seen it or had their sighting and see if you can find a footprint or maybe some hair. But after that point of time, it's like wishing in one hand and you know what in the other.
Yeah. And hey, Blue's out there. Hello, Dave. And I got to say this. The most lovable woman out there is out there right now. She has a voice of a Minnie Mouse. You know who I'm talking about. Hi, Jenny. Then my cousin is out there also, Jenny Lott. But the thing is, like you said, we're researching such a small area, which I got 3 small areas I've been researching. And one's in Armstrong County, 2 in Mercer County. You got to pay attention to the terrain, the trees, and different stuff that's going on in that area. And that's where you, Jamie and Jenny, even Fred Saluga. Fred came to the camp out this year, to the one I had at Salt Fork, and this past spring. His legs ain't strong like they used to be, but he had to walk to where I had my sighting. And he had to climb over a 3-foot round tree that fell over to get there, to get a visual of where my sighting was. And it's guys like Yinzal, not guys and girls. Sorry, Jenny. And the way you guys look at everything. And I try to take that all in. And sometimes it's a little bit of an overload at times.
It's always an overload at times. If you're like me, you overthink things. The last time I went out, and again, it's my brain, working overtime. But I noticed all the trails that have been generally beaten down by people going into the area, there were trees that were knocked down and laying across every one of the trails. Nowhere else, just across the trails. So I'm like, okay, was this, the windstorm came through and this is just all coincidental where all these trees got knocked down over top of the trails. I'm like, well, I counted them. There was 13 trees knocked down over these trails. I'm like, that's very coincidental. I'm like, well, there has been problems up here with people doing not so good things. I said, well, maybe the rangers came up and they knocked the trees down to keep people out of there. And then part of me's like, well, maybe it was, cryptid, Bigfoot, Dogman or something like that, and was tired of people coming up there. And they knocked these trees down and blocked over the trails. But it's like, to me, a lot of people look at it, go, oh, just the wind just knocked it down. That's it. But as I walked through that section of woods, those trees were all knocked down one way, but all the other trees were knocked down in an opposite direction. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It could be wind from the windstorms we've had this summer. I don't know. I wasn't there to see what knocked them down, but it's just very coincidental that they're only down over the trails.
Right. That hike, I think that was you and me that went on that hike where something went along the tracks and chopped everything down.
Right. Train tracks, which I think a lot of it was the train company, but some of it didn't.
Some of it. But most of it, yes, was the train company.
Right.
Or whoever they hired to do it. But the thing is, when we stepped inside the woods, we found some other ones. And
we also found tracks. You remember we found the track over there in that muddy section?
Yes, we did. Yeah. Jenny King says, make your own paths. She calls it walking in the huckapucks. But
some of us aren't fearless as Jenny King. That woman has no fear whatsoever.
Yeah, I listened to the recording when that tree come flying at you guys. Everyone else is running. She's telling you to walk.
Walk, don't fall. Be careful now.
But let me do something here. I got to do this for you.
Okay.
Talking about hiking. Here's a picture of you yesterday. He's in his special investigator coat and hat.
Well, actually, that was a test, and Jenny King was involved in that test.
Oh.
This was out there in the Shenango, and late running up to, Jamie and Jenny were there, and some of our friends, there's like 8 of them, and they were all out hiking, and I was late trying to join up to the party. So they were on this particular section. I'm up on this top trail. And then they're down there on the bottom trail, and they're in 2 groups of 4. So they're coming at me, and I'm sitting there. I'm not screaming or anything. I'm just standing up there, and I got my right hand, and I'm doing the old big, wave. And I'm noticing the first group of 4 coming by me not seeing me. So I just put my hands down my side, and I stand there beside a tree. And they just look at me and keep on walking. They never even notice me. Now, the second group, they're coming, and they happen to stop right there because a couple of them were lighting up a cigarette and smoking a cigarette. And the only reason they noticed me is because the one, Monica, she had one of them little monoscopes, and she put it up to the eye, And when she got there, she could see my blue jeans at the bottom of the jacket. The blue threw her off as to what it was, and they could tell that there was someone there, but they had no idea who or what was going on. See, everyone thinks that Bigfoot races through the woods, and that's why we can't see him, because he moves so fast he's gone before we notice it. I think he's the exact opposite, just like I did there, and just like if you've ever hunted.
Yeah.
When you're there and you're looking at that buck and he's coming down there through there, especially a bow hunter, and you draw back and you got that arrow all set, and then you let go and you score a perfect dead center bullseye on that 2-inch sapling, because your eyes never seen that 2-inch sapling because it wasn't moving.
You're 100% right.
And I walk right past Bigfoot because he's standing there and he's so tall. We just look at him and think it's a tree, and we just keep on going because our eyes detect movement.
And they're great at camouflage, as we put it. They're better than just great at camouflage, because they're standing there like you were, and no one's seen it.
Right.
Like with mine, if there wasn't just a little bit of movement to my right side, I would never have seen them. Never.
Right.
And I just caught it out of the corner of my right eye. I turned and looked, and there it was, 15 feet.
Right.
And yes, I almost filled my pants. And yes, it still bothers me to this day. And that thing, he stayed perfectly still till I stood back up, and then he stood up. And when he stood up, and I saw about where he was on the tree, and I started backpedaling. And I can honestly say this old man can run backwards pretty damn good without falling down. I keep saying that, but it's true.
You get that adrenaline pumping, yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm running back to the Mike and Debbie to get back to them. Hey, Amy. Amy Boo says, "Hey, Jim."
Hi, Amy. Amy was part of that first group for that story I just talked about.
Oh, she looked past you, huh?
Yep, she walked past me. She was kind of tired though and cold. I think she's trying to get back to where it was warm.
I can understand that. But the thing is, too, if he didn't make that little bit of movement, I would have never known he was there.
Right.
And that's all it took. So, yeah, it makes it, I agree with you. Amy says you're 100% right about that. She just want to get warm at home. And Amy, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, too. And I'm saying this straight out, for introducing me to Daniel. This young man, we become good friends real quick. And he invited my podcast to go in with several of the ones over there. And we're going to be sharing each other's podcasts on each other's groups. And so, and this kid, I'm going to say this about this kid right now. He is the future of our research. He's 14 years old. He's autistic, high-functioning autistic. He gets out there. He does a lot of research. He collected some DNA samples and got them sent in and got some little bit of answers. And he did something for a 14-year-old that was a job in itself for me to do. He put a conference together.
Wow.
This year. And he got the top name researchers over there across the pond that come to his conference there in England. This
Awesome.
kid did it all. And yeah, so he's an awesome one. He's the future of our research. And I'm dead serious because he thinks outside the box too. And he learned a lot from a lot of other researchers. And I got nothing but respect for this young man. And thank you again, Amy. I very do appreciate it. Introducing us and getting me tied up with him because I really do like this kid. He's really down to earth, very nice. And I will be on his podcast. It will be Saturday at 3:00 in the afternoon Eastern time. I'll be on it. It'll be 8:00 their time in the evening. But I'll have the link on my agent's page for everybody. I'm excited. I really am. It's going to be a great podcast. Not because I'm on it, because he's on it. But anyhow, let me go back to bring up a couple things here. Now, I'm going to bring up the prints. Those prints you sent me.
Okay.
I'm going to bring these up.
All right.
Like this one here.
Yep, that was from 2021 in March.
I'm trying to see how big it really is.
19 inches.
Okay.
That's a 12-inch roller that's inside there.
All right. That's what I was trying to say. Was that along these tracks?
Yep.
The tracks you and me walked.
Yep, you and I have been on those tracks. And I followed those tracks from about 50 yards after the trestle to about 50 yards before the trail comes back over onto the tracks.
Oh.
So a mile and a half.
19-inch.
Well, there was actually 3 different sizes. That was the big one. That was a 19-inch. There was a 16-inch, and then there was a 12-inch. They were all mixed in there because you can see all those prints right there.
Yeah.
If you 19-inch to 19-inch, it was about 48 to 50 inches from heel to toe. And then the 16-inch was a little bit closer, and the 12-inch was a little bit closer, but they all walked together in that line. And the tracks off to the right of the rail that you see there was from a father-son goose hunter that were walking down the tracks right before that.
Holy cow.
Now,
because that 19-inch got me a little freaked. Because you and me walked that, and that one big SOB.
Yeah.
That's...
Well, here's the thing, because I wasn't even going to go up to the tracks. Because I went out there, and you remember March of 2021, it was cold.
Yes, it was.
I mean, we're talking with the wind chills down in the teens. And I was out, and I was walking in some woods that we normally don't go to because they're too thick. But being, snowy and that blow down a lot of them. And I ended up falling in a creek twice. 2 different creeks I fell in, one time with my left leg, and then the other time with my right leg up to my knee. So the waterproof boots didn't do much to help there, and I was frozen.
No doubt.
But as I was sitting there, and I'm on my knees, and I'm looking at what I thought could be a possible footprint on this little patch of ice I was on where, me, I'm 320 pounds, and I got a full winter gear on, and I got a backpack on, and I'm standing on ice just fine, but something stepped on the ice and fell through it. So I'm trying to figure out if it's a footprint or just a fluke or, what's going on with it. And as I'm on my knees looking at this thing, I hear off to my left. I'm like, I didn't just hear what I think I did. So I stand up. Now, I didn't do a whoop or a tree knock or anything. I just stood up and looked in that direction. And then I hear again off to the left. And I'm like, that's a tree knock. What the hell? And then almost probably within 30 seconds, I hear off to the right. So I'm going, wait a minute. There was 2 tree knocks over to the left. And now there's a tree knock over to the right. So I decided that I'm going to look from the right to the left real slow and see if I could see something. And that's when I seen the two goose hunters come out of the woods from the other side of the tracks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So they walked along the tracks, and then they got up to where the trail cuts off, and they took the trail off. And as soon as they got on the trail, I hear off to the right, and then 30 seconds later, off to the left. So something was telling the other ones there was something there, and they knocked back and forth to each other. And that's what made me go up there to the train tracks. Now, this one's the same train tracks, but that's in 2018 March.
Okay. So you and me got to go there this March.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see there's only one set, and those are the 19-inch footprints, and they're 48 and a half inches from heel to toe. And that was 3 years before that second set.
And you had me up in that area knowing that big SOB's in there.
Well, sure, I needed someone to protect me.
You was just using me as bait.
Don't give away my secrets.
God, if I would have saw that big SOB, I don't know what I would have done.
We would have both shit our pants and didn't have nothing to worry about because that big SOB would have slipping and sliding, not able to catch us.
Oh, believe me, you're right. But no, seriously, that is something. And Monica says amazing trackway, and it is. It very is. Me and Brenda Sproul found that trackway March 2 years ago down along the beach line. I think I showed you the video of it.
Yeah.
And it was only a 14-inch.
Well, still, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. And
well, if you stop and think about it, the 3 years ago, I found a 12-inch, and then a year later, you found 14. So maybe it grew. The 12-inch one, that one grew a little bit.
It could have been. It could have been. And the thing is that when we went in, we went up along the wood line and then up into the woods. When we come back out, we came down. I said, I'm going down closer to the beach, see what we see anything. And that's when we found that. It went for over 100 yards. It went clean up to where the point comes around that it could see up to the road, and it turned back, come back, and went up in the woods. It didn't go clean back to where it came out at.
Right.
And that was like a 48 or 50-inch spread. I can't remember. It's on the video. But, yeah, that got my heart pumping.
Right.
That's before I actually seen my sighting. So, yeah, I'm all fired up.
Well, sightings are great when you're in the car and you're crossing the road, but when you're in the woods and they're right in front of you, it's a different story.
Jamie says two teachers saw something very close to that crosses the trail. And and Jamie, you took a report right near where my sighting was a year later, where that one crossed the road. So, yeah, it's just very interesting, that they're this close.
Well, if you want to hear the story that got me was I got this from firsthand from a source that I totally trust. There was a gentleman who lived in Sharpsville, and he was a retired Marine, and he was an honor guard Marine.
Okay.
So, the honored guard, they protect the politicians, and he was assigned to Obama, first term Obama. So he would go out, then he retired and he moved to Sharpsville, back home to Sharpsville. Well, this gentleman, he was rather large. I mean, he probably could play like a center for or power forward for the NBA team. He's like 6'6", 6'7", about 250 pounds of rock hard muscle. Well, every morning, him and his wife would get up and they would walk that trail. get their exercise in, then go home, get a shower, get their coffee, and head to work. Well, the one morning, they're walking down, and on that trail, used to be a swamp made by the beaver dams, but they've drained, but now it's just, I don't know what you call it now, marsh or whatever. But they were coming up to there, and they heard something coming through the swamp, and they stopped and they looked, and one step from the swamp up onto the trail stood this, he said, monster. He said, I looked up at its eyes. Now, again, he's 6'7", and he's looking up to stare it in the eyes. And he said it turned and looked at him and his wife. It growled, and then it turned and stepped and went into the woods and disappeared. And he goes, I carry my my Sig Sauer 9mm with me. He said, I didn't even think about pulling it out because I was afraid if I shot it, I'd just make it mad.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I tell people. It's, don't even think about it. Because say you do actually kill the one, there's other ones there.
Yeah, that you don't. The one's a distraction. You don't know what the other one's got planned.
Yep. And which we don't. That's just something I believe. I can't say for sure. Like when you and me were going down that trail, we know something was across the pond, and I had that gut feeling ahead of us, and we found that print behind us. So we don't know for sure, but I do believe they travel in a little bit of a pack or a family unit,
right?
Or whatever you want to call.
Well, to me, it's
big. Yes, Beverly, they saw it together, husband and wife. Yes. So
I think it travels in a family unit, and if there is a dog man, which I'm not 100% convinced yet of, that would be more of a pack, because that'd be more like coyotes and wolves. They travel, family unit, but they also merge other families together to make a pack.
Well, it's something that just got me freaked out a little bit is I did take a dog man report.
The dog man's not real.
I just took a dog. I know this guy's and his family. And it was seen just on the outskirts of Sharon, headed off of Clark Street, down by the river.
Yeah.
So, and this dude ain't a BSer and a liar and all that. He described it as a canine type, and it kind of freaked him out.
Well, yeah. Just do me a favor. You go to investigate it. Make sure you're not alone.
Believe me, I'm taking you for bait. No, I will not. I have not gone back down into that area, and I'm not going alone.
Yeah, I don't want to see the next missing 411 be about you.
No, me neither. I hate to see that. Oh, hey, BJ. Excuse me. Damn chest cold. Yeah. And Sandy Lincoln says Dogman's a tough one for her. And BJ actually says Dogman can be traced back to biblical times, in the times of the Nephilim. Yes. But I don't know if it's the same. I really don't. And I have not got into that enough. I just joined a couple other Dogman's groups so I can learn more about it. Dogman scares me. I was 14 years old. And this guy had shepherds on his property. They were chained up, even though his property was fenced in. They were guard dogs. Well, the one got loose, but it did jump the fence, and it come charging at us. And and it jumped. It was going for my throat, and I went like this here with the block it, and it got me in the arm. I had to go through 14 rabies shots. But let me tell you, a shepherd bite right here, that hurt. Now, you get a 7-8 foot dog man with that big mouth? No.
Nope.
No. I want a couple people ahead of me so I can backtrack out of there quicker. But
hey, don't you be following that philosophy of you always take your fat friends hiking with you. You need someone to, distract them when you're running away.
No, you're supposed to bring like those horror movies. Bring the dumb blonde girl.
Well, let me go find one.
Yeah, I was hoping you knew some.
Not anymore.
But wait a minute. BJ said, I talked it over with with a pastor friend of his. To get his opinion, I find the dogman to be the most interesting cryptid there is, but that is just for them. And no, Sandy, from what I was told, dogman and werewolves are not the same thing. From several different people. I don't know. Dogman's out of my realm right now, so I can't really give a lot of answers on that. But I can give some answers on Bigfoot. He don't have pointed ears.
True.
And they think it might have been the dogman probably was a Bigfoot, and they just thought it was a dogman. Well,
that brings up an interesting theory I heard. Our friend Amy told me that she was talking to, I don't know if it was her idea or someone she knew came up with the idea, where they're wondering if the dogman was actually, more of like a Bigfoot, like a gorilla species, but with a baboon's face, because the baboons have the long snout and long jaw versus, like a gorilla.
Right.
So that was, a theory also that was being thrown around out there.
Yes, it is. And from the drawings, I say no, but the drawings can be wrong.
Right.
Is it a different breed of Bigfoot? I don't know, but the pointed ears is what gets me. And I ain't gonna lie, the pointed ears is what gets me. Nope. You don't see ears on Bigfoot. They're close cropped to the head.
Yeah. But how many abnormalities are there in Homo sapiens? I mean, we all don't look the same. We all got different color eyes and noses and ears and mouths.
Now, wait a minute. You and me don't look alike?
Nah, you're pretty and I'm pretty ugly.
I thought you were going to say I was fugly, but I agree with that fugly part. But no, seriously, you're right. And
I mean, think about it. We got humans running around that are under 3 foot tall. We got humans running around that are 8 foot tall.
Yep.
Everywhere in between.
Yes. And so that makes that a big possibility too. And I have not discounted that at all. Because you got to keep an open mind because none of us know anything.
Right.
But from the stuff I learned so far about it, which ain't all that much, it's a cryptid. That's all I know. That's all I can say. It's a cryptid.
I agree.
You and me talked before the show, and none of us are experts.
Well, there are some Paris celebrities that believe they are experts in what they say is the unbridled truth.
Oh, I know some that said that shit. And I just walk away from them. And I really do. I'm sorry. There ain't a single one of us out there that could say, this is what it is.
Right.
This is how it is. This is what it does. There ain't a single person out there. And I'm sorry for the ones that think that way, because I'm not going to listen to you. Straight up. Without the evidence, I'm not going to listen to you.
Well, I'll listen to what they have to say, and then I play devil's advocate with them. Like I remember I was kicked out of this one Bigfoot chat group because someone was talking about and explaining how Bigfoot has the special organ in his chest, and that's how he does his whoops, and he makes his infrasound.
I heard that one.
I'm like, okay, so where's this body that you found all this information at? I want to see the body.
Yes. You know, that's the thing. You must have did an autopsy to say that's there. And well, I did have a guy, and I'm open to they possibly jump through portals. The one I saw didn't. I saw it go down over a hill as I'm running backwards.
Right.
But I'll keep an open mind to that. But this guy is going, that's how they get there. They jump through portals from one place to the other. And they all do it. That's how they're done. And he's going around, he's doing this to the people's faces and talking real firm. And I'm sitting there, and the one person goes, "You're listening to this?" I says, "Yeah, but you know what? He ain't saying there was any proof to that." You gonna say something to him? I said, "No, I'm gonna let it go." But when he got in that one guy's face and he's doing this real hard and fast, I go, "Oh, it's on. It's on. My mouth's gonna run now."
Yeah.
And I stood up and I go, "Excuse me." He turned on, "Yeah." I says, "So they jump through portals, you were saying?" He says, "Yeah." Okay. "Did you see him jump through portals?" No. Okay, wait a minute. No, don't get upset with me, buddy. Have you seen a portal? No. No, okay. Have you seen a Bigfoot? No. I said, "Well, I have, so sit your ass down and shut up."
I love it.
And then I went off on him about, you got to have the proof. You got to have, before you telling everyone that's how it is, or just say that's what you believe. Other than that, shut the hell up.
Right.
Well, about 10 minutes later, I found out he was an Armstrong County commissioner.
Well, he needed someone to put him in his place, and you did it. Did it the right way.
That's right, Jenny. We can't prove that they don't exist, but we can't. The thing is, he's never saw a portal. He's never saw a Bigfoot, but that's how they're doing it. That plain and simple. You're gonna believe him or not? Well, I'm sorry. I'm still open to it. I really am. Now, the one meeting I had for my agents of the unexplained at the Middlesex Diner here a few months back, we had this couple come in and sit down in the back room where we're all at. I'm like, I've never seen these people before. I've never even seen them on my Facebook group. I wonder who they are. No, I posted it in different sites and that. So I figured, all right, well, Grace, she came in and she's, "Hi. Oh, I never saw you at one of our meetings. So you're here for the Agents of the Unexplained group meeting?" And the lady goes, "No." And she had a northern accent. And I caught that real quick. She says, "No, we just stopped in to get something to eat. We were traveling from Connecticut to Chicago, and we just stopped to eat." she goes, "What kind of meeting are you guys going to have?" So I walked over and she says, "Oh, it's about cryptids and paranormal." She said, "Oh, we got paranormal stuff happening around our place." She brought up a picture, Sparky, of out on the lake, and you could tell there was a portal there.
Wow.
She was supposed to send me one. A pitch, supposed to join the group, and she was supposed to send me one on Facebook Messenger, and I never got it. Or I'd be sharing that. I don't know. Oh, Jenny put this up. Yes, Jenny, I agree. Science has actually seen a quantum reality where other dimensions exist. And I don't doubt that one bit. But this guy, Jenny, I know usually I keep my mouth shut on that, but this guy really ticked me off because he was forcing it down everyone's throat. Plain and simple. And if you've seen them do it, say so. If you just believe that's what they're doing, say that. Don't say this is how it is, because we don't know. And what does a portal look like? This thing was out over the lake, and it's kind of round shape, but it's kind of blurry on the edges. But you could see it was like black and white on through it, and you could see the lake and like an island on the other side. And I asked her, "Is there an island there?" And she said no. So I went, "Wow, that is awesome." And I wish Grace was out here, because she'll back me up on this, because that was really, really weird. And I always say I don't believe in coincidence. They stopped at and ate at the meeting, came back to the back room for a reason. And she shared that with us. So there's always a reason. What the hell are you looking at? You keep looking.
I thought I heard one of my cats outside yelling at the door.
Oh.
Yeah, I've taken over a colony of feral cats.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
At last count, there was 11.
Oh.
Hey, I just give them food, water, and I put some shelters out there. Hey, they keep away the chipmunks, they keep away the squirrels, and better yet, I haven't had any skunks coming back to my house since I've been feeding them.
That you know of. Oh, you. But Sarah asked, saw a portal. Would you go in?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. See, me and Sparky are crazy enough to try it.
Yep.
And Cindy Mitch says, "Awesome man, saving the cats." No, he's saving his yard from all the other rodents.
Hey, I've got some names for out of these 11. I got some of them named, and some will actually let me pet them now.
Oh, that's good. Oh, you would too, Sarah. That's great. So let's go on a different angle here for you. You had some stuff going on at your house.
Yep. Not at my house with me. There's a difference.
Yeah, with you. Let me bring it up. Here's this picture.
That's a beautiful one, isn't it?
You look awesome.
Looks like Mike Tyson.
Yeah. And then this. And this. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about this. Give the rundown, Spark.
All right. What got me involved in the paranormal was when I was a young kid, just going through, the puberty stage around 13. I started, noticing I'd go to sleep and I'd wake up and I'd have bruises on me or I'd have scratches on me, which I didn't think much of because, I was a typical, we weren't farmers, but lived out in the country. So we were always out in the woods or playing football or doing something. So I just assumed that all those things happened during that. Well, it kept on going. I moved to Florida. I kept getting scratches and bruises and bite marks. I moved to Columbus, Ohio, scratches, bruises, bite marks. Pittsburgh, scratches, bruises, bite marks. Greenville, and even here, it doesn't matter wherever I was going. And I noticed, because, one of the things that you do, when you're in the paranormal, whether it's Bigfoot or ghosts or any cryptid, whatever, is you keep a journal. When something happened, what happened, so forth. Well, I noticed that these scratches, bruises, and bite marks and things happened when I was in like a depressed state, when I was really down and being really hard on myself. So I'm like, okay. And I was going through a really rough time professionally. I was having trouble at work. Personally, I was having trouble in my personal life. And I was just not right in the head. And I started getting more aggressive things happening to me in bed. Like I said earlier, I'm 6'1", 320 pounds, and something was throwing me out of bed. Literally would throw me from bed, and I would fly across and hit the closet door. And then I would come out here and I'd sleep in my recliner, and it would throw me out of the recliner. Then I put an air mattress down on the bed on the ground, and it would literally pull me off the air mattress. And those were some of the injuries that I sustained from being thrown around. And I had some good friends come over, and they did a saging of the house, which worked for about a couple weeks to a month. And then it started back up a little bit worse. And I didn't have the video saved online where I could send it to you. And it's on 8mm. So it's a real hassle to try and record it.
Right.
But I had a video of something throwing me against a cabinet that I have in the living room when I was on the floor. So some other friends of mine, Brian Seach and his wife Terry, they brought their friend Aurora up, and they not only blessed the house again, but they blessed me, and they cleansed me. And I've straightened things out in my personal life and professional life, and knock on wood, nothing else has been happening. But I mean, think of the power that it would have to. Could you pick me up out of bed, throw me across the room?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Even in my prime, that would have been a struggle.
Yeah, and that's literally what happened, because I remember the one night I was put my hand on the floor, and I'm like, no, I'm not falling out of bed, and something just picked up my legs and my trunk and threw me the rest of the way off. I'm like, nope, no more.
And thank God, I had Aurora on my podcast over a year ago.
Yeah.
She's a hell of a great lady.
Yes,
I really like her.
Yep. She did a lot for me here.
Yes. And the supernatural like that is really crazy. I'm incorporating some of the ghost hunting equipment into my Bigfoot research.
Yeah, I've been too.
And there's other stuff out there I want to get, but it takes a little extra money. And I'm going to end up getting the stuff to do this to further my research. But something like that happening to you, I don't know if that was a demon or a ghost.
Well, you know me, and some of these people on here know me. I spent many years and many thousands of dollars traveling around the eastern United States investigating ghost and demon sightings. I can say honestly, I've seen ghosts, I've seen shadow men, I've seen objects move on their own, whether it be a chair, table, or doors, or even cabinets opening and closing on their own. But I have yet to encounter what I would say is a demon. Now, I know they have to be there because I believe in angels. So if you can't believe in angels, not believe in demons, but I can
Sure.
also say I've never had a dealing with demons that I know of. Knock on wood. I don't want to either.
Well, what would that have been that did that to you, though?
Well, again, I mean, a ghost is from, again, we don't know. We're speculating. If it can travel between dimensions, let's say a ghost is interdimensional or whatever, then obviously it'd have to have that kind of energy and that kind of strength to move someone like me. I don't know. I'm guessing like everyone else, but I didn't wake up and have 666 tattooed on my head, or here you always see in TVs and movies about the demonic howls and growls, and I don't know, but I don't think it's a demon, but I don't know. I just think it was some energy that was attached to me, and it got out of control based on me. Wow, that would freak me out too.
Yeah, me too. Hey, if I'm laying beside you and you start levitating, Sarah, sorry, I'm out of the bed with you. You're sleeping alone. What about poltergeist? That's mischievous ghost.
The German translation is noisy ghost.
Right.
So, but
now
like
I can honestly say I've seen a ghost, a couple of them, a couple different ones. I was right around 14 years old. I had this dream, and good friends of the family, their son got ran over.
Oh.
I got up in the morning and I was all worked up. I just all worked up over it. I go downstairs to get ready to eat my breakfast before school, and then I go to my mom. I says, "Did Timmy get ran over by a truck?" She went, "No." I says, "Oh, I just dreamt it. Okay." And I start freaking out about dreaming stuff like that. And I go, I never want to dream nothing like that again. Ever. Next morning we get up. My mom told us about him getting run over and dying that night.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. That was one of the first. And that really freaked me out. And I do believe I have blocked that stuff out because I couldn't sleep for a couple nights over that. Finally, I said, I got to get some sleep. I'm not dreaming this no more. No more dreams like this. And I actually did a lot of talking to myself on that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen ghosts. The one house we had on Brookfield Avenue, my wife and I, she saw it first. I saw it a couple of days later. The first time she saw it, she woke me up and wanted to know who that little girl was combing my hair. I'm sleeping. There ain't no one touching me. You're dreaming. Go back to bed. And then I saw it a couple nights later, and I went flying in the living room and said, "You're right. She's here." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "That little girl. She's here. I just saw her." Yes, I did have a premonition, Sandy, and I blocked it all out. And I don't ever want to do that ever again, especially someone I know. That was a horrible, horrible thing to see in my head, in my dreams. Later I was about 12 when that happened. When I was 14 is when I saw a UFO.
Oh.
Yeah, and we lived on the other side of Newcastle in North Beaver Township, just on the half a mile outside the Newcastle city limits, in a little area called Willow Grove. We had a sand plant right up the road from us. It's gone now, by the way. And then you go up the hill, and it was up there on the hill, just hovering. This state, I go flying back in the house. It's springtime. It was nice out, bright sunny day. Waiting on the school bus. I went flying back in the house. And And my mom's at the kitchen sink doing dishes. I said, Mom, look up over the hill. There's a flying saucer. She looked up and she's looking at it and she goes, turns around and looks at me and she says, you didn't see nothing. You don't say nothing. We're not dealing with this. Okay.
A lot of people
go back out. And, well, I figured out why real quick. Because the guy that lived up on the hill took a picture of it. He turned it into the local newspaper, Newcastle News, turned it into WFMJ TV 21 in Youngstown, and everyone started calling him a crackpot. And I think it was in the newspaper. They said, oh, that's been debunked. He threw a trash can lid up in the air and took a picture of it, the old metal ones. And I read that and I went, what? How in the hell am I going to see a trash can lid 3/4 of a mile away?
Yep.
That was flung in the air. Ain't no way. So, but then again, the P&G film. Yeah, Bigfoot's out there, but where? Oh, he's out up in the Northwest. He ain't over here. Surprise!
Yeah, I mean, if you have in research,
Yeah.
back hundreds and even before that, with the first cultures, the first peoples, the Native Americans, they all had sightings in this area and all across the country. But us English settlers, we're stupid enough where it's not real unless we see it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I actually got into researching Bigfoot after all the years I spent in the woods and tree structures. And that was, 4 years ago, I think. And I started doing the research on the internet. And of course, you find some stuff on YouTube. And at the time, there were a couple really stupid asses out there putting out hoax videos. And like we're getting nowadays, but a little worse nowadays. So I start putting the correlations of the structures because I seen them Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, New York, Virginia, Florida. Yes, tree structures in Florida. I saw them down there. But like I was taught, and he hates when I say it, but he drilled this in my head. Think outside the box and deduct it. I already thought outside the box on a lot of stuff, but deducting, he pointed out more how to deduct. And you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, my man Jamie. Yeah. And so the more of these tree structures I looked at, the more I kept saying these are natural, these are this, these are that. It could have been weather, it could have been because they were old and died. But there's those few. And it's like, well, what could have this been?
All right. Well, can I throw a fly in your ointment here, or a monkey wrench into your
yes.
System? All right. All those states that you just named that you've seen tree structures in, right?
Yep.
Do you know that our modern scientists are now coming to the conclusion that there was a tribe or a peoples, because there was multiple tribes in the Americas, in those states, that they call now the ancient mound builders.
Okay.
That, you could think of, like around here, everyone thinks of the Serpent Mound in Ohio, or the big burial mounds down in West Virginia by Moundsville. But here's the thing: Pennsylvania used to have those. All those states you named all had those mounds.
Well, yeah, I take that in consideration too, Sparky, because I have seen those mounds throughout PA where, okay, why is this mound in the woods here? No tree come down that cause a big pow up. What? And there's some seriously big mounds. So yes.
Well, here's my hypothesis or my theory. What I mean, like the Great Serpent Mound, because I went out there and I did an investigation out there on my own. And the modern scientists say that the I can't remember which tribe they said it is, but they used deer bones and sticks to shovel in the tons and tons of dirt and rock to make those mounds. But yet they have not found any of the tools. They haven't found anybody buried in those things. So
I'm afraid to dig those mounds up at all. You know,
they don't dig them up now. They use that ground penetrating
ground sonar. Yeah, the ground sonar.
But where I'm going is, what if these tree structures are being built by the same beings, same peoples that were making those mounds back in the day?
Possible. I can't say no. And by the way, Grace, I'm glad you're here. I brought your name up earlier before you got here, Grace. And
it was all good, Grace.
Yes, it was. It's about the portal picture there at the diner. Please back me on this. If she's still there, because Jenny said hi to her. She didn't answer Jenny back. So I don't know if she's still there. But the Indian mounds in Point Marion, PA, they found bodies in those ones. Huh. Okay. Grace says yes. Yes. I got backed up on that. She saw it too. And that's the thing. That was very interesting. Thank you, Grace. You know we love you. But the thing is, like those mounds, you know, they got several of them in Ohio. And we're not talking, they're about 3 foot high. These are huge, really huge. It's just, but the ones I found out in the woods, they're big, but they're not huge like those.
But you got to remember, Bill, Pennsylvania is unique. It's the only state in the continental U.S. where the Native Americans don't technically own any land.
You're right.
Because they, instead of like all the other states where there was a dispute over land with the Native Americans, they went to war. Even if there was already a treaty done in there or whatever, where they were giving the Indians this land, and then they go through and take war and take it off them. Pennsylvania just kept renegotiating and rebuying the same land over and over and over again.
Yep. Damn, you know your history about that.
Well, I should. When I was actually in Penn State, I actually took a course on the Northwest Indians, and we just spent a lot of time talking about the Indian tribes of Pennsylvania.
That's awesome. And God bless her soul. I wish she was still alive because I still got a lot of questions for her. Is my Uncle Ron, my mom's brother, married Aunt Juanita, Seneca princess.
Ooh.
Her dad was chief of the tribe.
That would have been a nice person to talk to.
Yes. And about 15 years ago, maybe a little longer, she ended up catching dementia.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, we lost her. And yeah, and Jamie says, "Great thinking, Sparky." Yeah, he can think good once in a while.
Jamie's rubbing off on me.
Yeah, and you know what? That is and Jenny says that's an awesome course to take, and she's 110% right. You know, knowing that my Aunt Juanita was full-blooded Seneca Indian, me and my brothers growing up, they just wanted to play Army or Cowboys and Indians. We say Cowboy and Indians. Well, we're the Cowboys. Go ahead. We're the Indians. We're going to scalp you. Yeah. But me and my brother took the Indians. But yeah, because of her. Oh, yeah, you're right, Grip. Here you go. The one treaty with the Senecas was broken when the U.S. took the land the Seneca had to make the Kinzig Dam. And there's a lot of crap happens up there.
I was just getting ready to say the same thing.
Glenn Purcell and I were up there in September. And it's very interesting. We're doing a camp out July 11th through the 14th next year up there.
Good luck on. And have you been up there in the woods up there?
Yes.
You got a weird feeling just sitting there around a campfire. Just makes I get goosebumps when I'm sitting up there.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, you get some feelings going on, but it wasn't bad. Like I got that night you and me were walking. I didn't get the bad feelings. I met a nice couple up there, Jeff and Julie Anderson, and they showed us pictures of things they seen and that. And one was a rake.
Oh, nope. I'd rather see a dog man.
And I think I think he shared the picture. I might have it on my phone. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was scary looking. It was scary. There's a lot of paranormal, UFO, big cryptid. Say cryptid, not just Bigfoot, but all cryptid things go on up there.
Yeah, because they even have stories of a lake monster in the dam.
Yes, but if you notice, these lake monsters are all in man-made lakes.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Well, not all of them, because Loch Ness is the most famous. That's
I'm talking here. I'm talking here, not talking over there.
Well, what about Lake Champlain? I thought that was a glacier lake up in New York.
I'm going to have to ask Katie.
I'm not 100% sure, but because I don't really
either.
I'm looking at the lake monsters because I don't have a submarine or scuba gear.
I think but I know I'm going to have to ask Katie. Is that a man-made or a glacier? They got cheapness down in West Virginia, Beverly says. But yeah, Katie's been looking for Champ up there on Lake Champlain. And they got some really good sonar stuff on them.
Well, that would be
this year. So, and I'm glad, some other people got it. It wasn't just Katie, but they shared it with her.
Good.
And so I don't know. That's another cryptid that I'm glad Katie's researching so I can get the information from her, because we got so much I'm dealing in. It's hard to keep up. If I was out in the other office, which I brought everything, the computer and everything in here to do the podcast back into the old office. But I got a little sculpture of Nessie that was made by Jenny. Yeah. And it sits right on my table behind me, right over this way, down there in the other office. Those two little heaters ain't cutting it, and I didn't get the gas line in yet, so I can't get that ventless heater going. So I said, this cold, I'm going in here. I got enough of a cold in my chest.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah, and that cold air beat me up today. I admit that. But with all your paranormal cryptid research, what are you more fond of researching?
Well, if you'd asked me 12 years ago, I'd have said paranormal with ghosts and demons and things like that. But then once I went with Jamie and Jenny and we went up to had our Bigfoot encounter, that sort of switched me over, and I'm more Bigfoot now than I am the paranormal ghost.
Yeah.
For the fact that when you're looking for a ghost, most times you're in an old abandoned building that's either super hot, super cold, dirty, full of mold, dust, rats, mice, bats. Where, if you're looking for Bigfoot, a lot of times you're outside in the woods, fresh air. If you're like me, you like to go out there when it's cold, when the winter and everything, so not so many bugs around, but we still go out there nice, but at least you're outside. And
right.
I've been getting into a little bit of the UFOs. I can say that I've seen weird things in the sky, but nothing that I'd say 100% was a UFO.
Right. And what that sky watching, you, me, Jamie, Jenny, several others have done. Oh my God, Jenny, shut up. Oh no, I got to put it up there. Snotsickles. Yeah, Jenny King, leave it to you.
I remember Snotsickles.
No, but I've always watched the skies, always. And I really enjoyed being out there with you guys doing the sky watching. And, Jamie and Jenny, and that, I don't know if you was there that night that they had the response or not. And I was supposed to go, and then I couldn't make it. And I was so upset with myself for not going because he had that response, and that was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, and
okay, well, I hate to interrupt you here, but as we're doing our thing here, I'm talking to you on my phone, but I have my TV on with YouTube, watching it on YouTube, and my remote for my Xbox, which I watch YouTube on, is sitting right here, and you can see the lights off. So it hasn't been used because we've been going on for over an hour now. And my Xbox just popped on, and it's changing apps on me. So the controller is, you can see there's no lights. The controller's off, and I don't have the voice command set up on it, but it's changing apps.
Okay. Someone there wanted to watch something different.
Yeah, well, they're staring at my face enough when, I can just see what it's doing when it's watching me on TV too.
Sarah said someone wanted to watch something else like I did. Yeah, that's Sparky. You always got something going on around you. Always.
I believe in Jamie. Jamie's like me. He agrees with me, and I agree with him. Where I believe that your energy, your vibe, influences your interaction, whether you're looking for a ghost or Bigfoot or Dogman or UFOs. If you got the vibe for it, then you're going to get the response for it. If you don't have the correct vibe for it, then you're not going to get anything.
I agree 110%. And I believe that's why Jamie and Jenny gets the responses they do get and find stuff, because of how they are.
Well, I thought it was just because they think Jamie's so darn cute.
Oh,
I did it again. I kicked the cord again.
and Jeff Weingart says Sparky might fall out of bed again for that.
Hey, falling out of bed I can handle. Being thrown out of bed's a different story.
Yeah. Oh, geez. I ain't going. Do you got a man crush? No, seriously. I agree with you. With his and Jenny's demeanor, how they look at things, and they got the softest hearts. And I strive to be more and more like them. And that's the thing, and some days it's kind of hard.
Agreed.
Be like that. Yeah, it's kind of hard, but I love to be more and more like them. And they have influenced me a lot. I will say that.
Influenced both.
Yeah. But with Yumi's going to get out and research again here soon.
Yep, because now this is my. You're going to have to take it easy on me, because I'm not physically here. I'm like 25% physically right now, so you have to take it easy on me. Bear with me, but yeah, we get out there. This is my time of year.
Me and my breathing in this cold air ain't good either, so take it easier on me.
Yeah, we're both doing good. We're like the walking wounded here.
I'm glad you didn't say the Walking Dead.
That's left to me.
Oh, shoot. Oh, and here, what Jamie said. That's very kind of you both, but everyone can vibe the same way. And Jenny says you're blushing. I don't know if she's talking to Jamie or you.
I think she gave me about when I said that he's just so darn cute.
Jamie, you know you're going to get picked on that. Sarah Whitfield says she's handicapped too. Can she come along? Sure.
More the merrier.
But no, that's, I really enjoy getting out with you. I really want to get back out with you. And I gave you hell not that long ago about, hey, when we getting out again? We need to get out.
You remember, though, I didn't know you had multiple Facebook Messenger accounts, and I sent you a message on the old one, and that was the day that I had, found the footprints and had a good experience. Yeah,
and then I had to set you straight because you didn't pay attention that, hey, that account, I can't, I'm locked out of, I'm using this one. So he sends messages to the old, I wish I can delete that SOB and I can't.
Yeah.
But and Facebook won't help me.
Yeah, to make sure, I sent them to both of them today to get in touch with you. So I knew I had the right one.
That's what I tell everyone. Send them to both. Hey, Steve Blair's out here. Says hello to everybody.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's another great researcher right there, Steve. No, I got a lot of respect for him. He's handicapped right now too. Maybe we can bring him on.
Hey, like I said, the more the merrier.
We get a group name called the Cripple Crew. Good night, kids. My grandkids are telling me good night.
Good night, kid.
But yeah, we're definitely going to be getting out again here real soon. We get that. I got to get out there. I got to start seeing more. And Jesus, Sarah goes, where it just jumped on me. Crypts for Cryptid. Oh my God. That's another shirt I can make up. By the way, I got my Bigfoot Mafia shirt on. Got two Bigfoots holding a man in cement shoes. What the heck? But yeah, because it's been a while since you and me been out, and
well, honestly, it's been a while since I've been out. I think I've only gone out a couple of times because, like I said, physically, I just don't feel safe going out right now.
Right. But yeah, we'll get out and have some fun because usually we find something or get some kind of experience going when you and me are out together. And let me tell you, folks, he does bring a new perspective out there. You really do, Spark. And I'm very appreciative of that, too.
Well, I bring the perspective of a hunter, not a Bigfoot hunter, but like a deer hunter. And that's why I have so many problems with these experts and their, sayings of what Bigfoot does and can do and doesn't do and that.
All right. I got a question for you then. And it was thrown at me by Michael W. Cook.
Okay.
And I had to answer it truthfully. If a Bigfoot body is actually found, put on display, they found it. Are you going to stop researching for Bigfoot?
Nope.
Why?
I'll keep going. I'll use what information we find from the body to help me find it. Because look at it this way. Dr. Jane Goodall, she knew gorillas were out there. And she kept going out there until, they basically got used to her and accepted her in. And she was able to prove everything, not so much to the world, but her first priority was to prove it to herself.
Right.
And what I want to do.
Yeah, so same here.
Body and they say, well, this is true. This is how Bigfoot does it. Then it makes it easier for me to go out there and have some sort of, whether it's interaction with sighting them or just observing them from a distance, just so that I can prove just for myself.
That's it. And basically, like I told him, I says, hell no, I ain't going to quit. I says, I already know they're out there. I know that for a fact. I've seen one. I want to know what they're doing, why they're doing it, and how they're doing it. And I'm not going to stop.
No.
And he told me he liked my answer. He said, but believe it or not, 25% of the people he asked said they'll quit researching. And I snapped. And I said, yeah, well, those are the assholes that only want to get fame and fortune. They're not really researching. And
you don't know how right you are. For, like I said, I started out back in the 80s doing the ghost investigations and the paranormal investigations long before the TV shows ever showed up.
Right.
And that's where, I first started, and Bigfoot cryptid world is following behind what the paranormal ghost world did for a while, where half the people doing it are doing it because they want to have the next TV show. And then another part of them are doing it because they want to get rich doing it. And they want the fame to be the ones who found it. And they're not doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, exactly. And a person came to me a couple months ago about doing a made for TV show looking for Bigfoot the right way. Not, he said, it's going to be like a documentary type deal. And the thing is, we're going to go camp for 3 days. It'll show us setting up the camp, show putting our sound recorders out, showing us going into the woods, researching the area, daylight and night. Coming back, regroup, put our information together, how we do it, what we're doing with it, and how we tear down our camp and clean it up afterwards, the whole 9 yards. We're not out there, we're almost finding Bigfoot. No, this is how we research Bigfoot. I'm game for that one. I'm game to go on that. I want to do that one because that's going to be the right one.
But it would never get the ratings to keep it going because everyone wants to buys. They want to. Oh, we almost found what we thought was a thermal image of a Bigfoot turned out to be a deer. You know,
Yeah.
they sensationalization. They don't want the truth. They don't want to. It's like ghost hunting. You know, they want the sensationalization. They don't want the 99% of the time where you're sitting there in a building freezing your ass off.
Yeah. And not getting anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, I do. That's why it's going to be more like a documentary. And the thing is, that's how, if we don't find anything or don't have no vocalizations, no eye shine, not, I don't care. We're out there. We're trying. And that's 99% of the time with all of us.
Yep.
We're out there. We're trying.
My whole thing is, these, how many stories, how many reports have you taken where these people are out camping or, not even looking for Bigfoot or whatever. And it's when they're back at their campsite, sitting around the fire, just relaxing, that everything happens.
Well, Steve Blair was at the place I was at, Corky's research area. This a year and a half ago. There's a whole group of us that came there. And as soon as I got there, there was a loud tree knock across the highway. Steve came, probably about an hour later, and we're standing up in the research area near the ravine. And there was a big knock down below us. Later that night, about 1 a.m, we're all sitting around the fire, BS, talking about, our research and everything, and just BSing. Well, Corky put these little buckets, metal buckets, only about that big, filled with peanuts, and put glow sticks on each side of it. He took them up. There was 5 of them. He hung them in trees. And every now and then I'll glance up and see if I see any of them moving. And about 1 a.m, I looked up. I went, did that just move? I'm seeing things. Wait a minute. And I clean my eyes off and I'm looking and staring. Bucket's doing this. Okay, I'm seeing things. And they start moving again. I said, hey guys, that bucket on top's moving. And Steve will tell you, we all jumped up. Jay Pouch got out the thermal. And he's shooting it up there. There's 2 sitting there watching us. Eating the peanuts. We were the movie for them. Honest God, because I'm looking at the thermal. I actually took my phone and went to take a picture, but the thermal was showing white hot, and it was just a big blur.
Right.
And like Steve says, his area's off the hook. He's been going there for years, and he considers Cork a brother. And I love Cork and all, but yeah, he has activity there, big time. And I was so happy to be invited to that. And I got to hang out with him and Steve, and there was a bunch of us there. And it was a great time of camaraderie.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. So the thing is, you get some experiences happening too, makes it even better. And Cork warned me. He says, probably won't get much because you're new here. And they don't usually do too much. Okay. We had activity, though. We had knocks. I had that on the thermal. Yeah. Okay. Yes, you did, BJ. Let me put this up so people can see. The juvenile Bigfoot print at the Reynoldsville when I was up there. You got gifted by that Bigfoot. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. She showed me that print, and excuse me. Getting that chest cold back again. And well, BJ's going to be at my conference too, so I'm happy about that. Hey, but I can honestly say, if you're lucky, you'll get a sighting. You're really lucky.
It'll be from your car.
No, 15 feet away.
No. Been there, done that, no more.
Yeah, exactly. No, if you're sitting around a campfire with some friends and you see it happening, not only you got the backup proof of other people seeing it to get vindicated. Yeah, I saw it, but so did this person. They can say, like I did with Grace in that portal picture. That we all need vindication for what we see. And because of the naysayers. And I'm being nice calling them that. I lost some friends over Bigfoot. So-called friends, as I put it. But I gained a lot of great friends in the Bigfoot world, in the paranormal world. And, and that's the thing. It's just really makes you wonder. With these naysayers. Now, Southwestern Bigfoot Group, a friend of mine, Winston Paris, posted on it about this triangle area. How come there's no real reports? It's pretty well wooded. Now, that's an open group. It's not a private group. They start getting hammered by a lot of these non-believers. And I threw my answer in, but then the one guy called us knowers, loons. Didn't know what we're looking at. And I told him to kiss my ass. I ain't alone. And I says, there's too many other people out there that are educated that have seen them. That even said they seen them. And another guy posted people with PhDs, masters. So they're all loons, are they? But, you know.
You got to remember that some people, something like this being real, whether it's ghosts or Bigfoot or UFOs or lake monsters or whatever, they could actually see it. They could be sitting here and one comes within 5 feet of them. And they will come up with the most elaborate story to say it wasn't real because it's the only way that they can protect their sanity. Otherwise, everything just will fall apart on them. They can't accept the truth.
You know, as a believer, before my sighting, and wanting to see it is one thing. After seeing that one, it turned my world upside down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're 300 pounds, big guy. I'm not afraid of you.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we're in an argument and go to get in a fist fight, I ain't afraid of you.
Right.
That thing scared me so bad I didn't know where I was at. All I know is I had to get away from it.
Yep.
I've never been that scared in my life. I've been startled. I've been ran through the middle of a gunfight to grab a kid out of the street. Didn't care if I got shot. But that scared the hell out of me, Spark.
Well, yeah, because it was, even though you were a believer, there's still part of you sitting there saying that, yeah, I believe it's real, but part of you in there saying, yeah, it's not real. And then you see it, everything you know, 100% just got turned upside down.
Yes.
So you had that on top of, oh, shit, look how big this thing is. I don't really know anything about it. What's it going to do? It can eat me for all I know, and I'll never be able to stop it.
And with all honesty, I did not know what it was going to do. And seeing the muscle tones and everything on this SOB, and it actually scared me as bad as it did. And there were my PTSD come in. Because I never knew I could get scared like that. And I had a hard time dealing with that part of it too. My mind's already boggled about, I actually saw this thing. It is actually out there. I actually got scared. Why did I get scared? I'm not scared of nothing. And it took me a while, a couple of weeks to get over that and realize I'm not superhuman. I'm just human.
Yeah.
And that's how I still deal with that. I'm just human. And it still bothers me at times on that sighting. Okay. And it's hard to fathom seeing something that close, that big, even though he's only about 7 foot tall, because we went the next day to measure up that tree. But seeing the size of it, muscle-wise, it put the fear of God in me, plus some. Tim goes, that's the moment you realize you've been lied to your whole life about things. Not really, because I always believed. And yes, Sarah, the shock and awe. And let me tell you, the shock knocked me for a loop. I knew there was UFOs out there. I know there's ghosts out there. I knew Bigfoot had to be out there, even though I never saw one. I knew they had to be out there because the P&G film proved that to me. Now, after your first sighting, Sparky, how did you deal with that?
Well, to me, it had the opposite reaction because when you listen to the tape, originally I didn't want to run after the tree came flying at the five of us.
Right.
But I lost my nerve when I looked and seen the other four of them going up the side of the mountain and leaving me there. That's when I lost my nerve and said, "You're not leaving the old bald fat man behind," and I went with them.
Yeah.
So that's when I that lit a fire underneath me. And that made me, okay, I want to go out and do this more. Yeah, that just drove me into the woods because before that, I hadn't gone in the woods hunting or fishing in years. I was more, jump on a Harley, let's go to the bar and get drunk and then, drive home. I didn't go out in the woods and do things. Now it's like I had that experience and it's like, I got to know more. I got to find out more about this, Now, if I had your experience where it was that close, it was just me and him, then I would have probably been a little bit different. But, when you're there with four friends and something happens, it's like you're a lot braver and a lot more calm, if that makes sense.
Yes. And I was asked how I would react if I saw another one. I says, well, I could lie to you, but I'm going to tell you the truth because I don't know how I'm going to react.
Right. That's like all these people say, what picture of Bigfoot? Do you understand how much shock is going through your body and how you're not thinking straight? And, why is it blurry? Well, because you're shaking so damn bad because you're so scared.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Yeah. Smile, buddy. Wait, I got to get the camera turned on.
Yeah. And you're
These people are idiots. Those people are idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some young punk kid asked me that on Mary Fabian's group.
Yeah.
Because Mary says, Bill, why don't you share your experience? What happened? And I did. And this kid started getting in my ass saying, you should have got a picture. I didn't think of a picture. My phone was in my back pocket. Why didn't you have it out? Because
why
walking
would you?
down a wooded trail. What do you think? Why I didn't? And when I seen it, the shock. I said, "Well, I would still got a picture, dude. Do you know how long it's going to take to get that phone out of your back pocket? It's 15 feet from you. You don't know if it's going to kill you or not, and you're all hyped up, and you go to get your camera turned on, or unlock your phone, get your camera turned on, and tell it to smile. Yeah, right.
And hope that doesn't misunderstand your movements, trying to reach back, grab your phone, and then hold your phone up to it, thinking that, you're going to get a picture. For all it knows, you're going to try and kill it.
Exactly. Yeah. At 15 feet, I was not thinking about any damn pictures.
Exactly.
And I told Mary after the fact, I says, I just wanted to reach out through the computer and smack that kid. I really did, because he was getting really stupid with me.
Well, brave and stupid on the computer because they're safe.
Yep. But, the effects it has on people is always different. Some are similar. I'm going to say about a month afterwards, I went to Creekfoot after my sighting. Me and Amy talked about it a little bit. And that first night there, we're all sitting around the big campfire. And Amy says, Bill, would you like to tell them about your sighting since it was recent? I thought for a second. Yeah, okay. And I gave him a shorter version than everything. Turn around. Joe Kesky got up and started talking about his right after mine. he got bluff charged.
Yeah.
And that. And how he described it, and he went in details. I put my head down and I'm like this. I was actually crying, listening to him, thinking what it could have done to me at 15 feet and how this thing was charging him. That brought tears to me. It really, I'm not ashamed to say I was crying over that because his stories made me relive mine and made mine like, why didn't they do this to me? Why am I still here to talk about it? Why? You know, and that's a hard thing, Spark.
Oh, trust me, I understand. Because I don't know if Jamie and Jenny told you about the ending of our story. So when we seen that one, the five of us, and we start walking back to our cabin. Now, I had the only weapon of the group. I had one of them foldable knives, the 4-inch blade.
Yes.
That was the only weapon we had. And we had one flashlight. So we are walking up the mountain and then to the trail, going back to our cabin to our fire. And we had beer sitting out there. And we all decided we needed a drink to calm down the nerves. As we're walking, every noise we heard, every branch breaking, every like leaves rustling or whatever, we were freaking out thinking that, okay, it's that thing, it's right there beside us. It's coming, it's following us. We got back to the campfire and sat down. We opened up a beer and none of us finished the beer because we kept hearing noises in the weeds in the woods, and we just, our minds are so we thought it was there.
Overactive, very overactive minds.
Right. So we all said that's it. We took the beers. We went in the cabin, and Jamie, Jenny, and the other couple all went to their bedrooms up on the second floor with their own individual locks on the doors to get in the room, and I slept down in the basement facing the sliding glass doors that faced the woods that we just ran out of.
That'd be freaky.
Yeah, I didn't sleep much that night.
No, I wouldn't either. It's truthfully, because I know for a fact how it affected me. And when someone says it does not affect them, there's something wrong. There's something, because it does affect you. Yeah, it might not be the extreme of mine.
Oh no, there's some affected a lot worse than what you did. There's some that will never go to the woods again.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Blue Tracker said this. Bill, in my research picks are not liked by the creature every time out in the woods. These creatures know you're getting that picture. It is not on your mind when you're about to have an encounter. Actually, no, it's not. Now, you're right, Blue Tracker. Very much so. Yeah, I was hoping to see something as I'm looking down the trail. When I knelt down and I was getting that scope adjusted and caught that movement out of the corner of my right eye. Was I expecting to see him right there? Hell no. That's the thing. We don't know. When me and Jamie went out to the dam that time, and we walked down along the beach, and we stood at where that tree was down, and I took a couple pictures up into the woods there.
Yep.
And I don't know where those pictures are at, but I should have downloaded them on here. Possibly there was one on the other side of that one tree, because we did hear something going on up over there, but we couldn't tell if it was an owl or what.
Right.
But there was something up along.
There's a lot of dogman reports out there too.
Yes. But you can see something, then it's not in the next picture. they were taken close together. So what was it? I really don't know. We was just snapping pictures, and then I caught that. And I'm not sure if I was showing you or telling you. And I know I told Jamie, I says, that tree right up there, I swear I saw something looking around it. But, we did not see exactly what it was, even in the picture, when I was going through those pictures. So, that just mark that up as possibly something there. Don't know what. Sarah, are you nuts? Oh my God. She writes, it's my goal to pet a dog man before I die. It might be right before I die, but
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not mine. That's definitely not. Nope.
Hey, pretty boy.
Not seeing one of those things.
But anyhow, it is after 9, Quirk.
Yeah.
And
past my bedtime.
Yeah. God forbid.
Hey, you'll get old like me one day.
Too late. You're catching up to me, brother.
Yeah.
But with all honesty, it's been fun having you on here.
It's my pleasure, buddy.
I
thank you for having me on.
And we will get out together here soon.
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, we will soon because we need to.
Yes, we do.
We might even drag Jamie and Jenny out with us.
Oh, there we go. That would be a good foursome.
Yeah. We haven't done that in a while. Since Under the Bridge.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you walking down the trail, and me and Jenny getting freaked out because something was walking above us.
Yeah, and I still don't know what went past me and just brushed against my shoulder.
We do. It was a thing that jumped over the bridge. Jenny and I heard, and then went running down the trail towards you guys.
That I go to Jamie. I said, "Did you see that?" No, I felt something, but it actually brushed against me, and so I don't know what the hell it was. I couldn't even see it. It happened so quick. Didn't even hear it come through the brush. Jenny says that was pretty cool. Not when it brushed against me, it wasn't. That was kind of freaky. It was cool for you guys.
Like I said earlier, Jenny has no fear.
I know. She don't. I love it. But you guys were watching at the end as it walked on through. And now, folks, this is it ain't an old wooden bridge. It's a new cement bridge. And they can hear it walk, boom, boom, boom. Every now and then, those round metal bars on top of the side rails, they can hear like fingernails hitting against it. And they watched and listened as it went on by them. And they start watching on each side of the bridge, see which way they jump down if it come down toward them. So they'd be ready. It never did. And a few minutes later is when that happened to me. That was kind of freaky. That was freaky.
And again, you don't know what happens, so you can't prepare for it.
Nope. And don't know what it was. I really don't. And yeah, Jenny, you're right. It's still cool. Because that added to the effect of the night. Because we had the owl hooting all over, and then a coyote real close howl off on us. And Jamie says, "Oh, going back to the fire under the bridge." Yeah, I agree with him. Yeah, get the hell away from a coyote.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that was a good experience tonight. Chalk it up to the unknown. But anyhow, everyone, thank you for watching.
Thanks for letting me come on and talk.
Hang tight. I'll talk to you for a minute after.
All right, sounds good.
All right, y'all take care. Thank you for showing up and listening to me and Sparky talk like we never talked before. Talk to you all soon, as soon as I find my outro. There it is.
This has been an Agents of the Unexplained original podcast. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe and view on YouTube. And please visit our store link in the bio. Thank you for listening. And remember that paranormal is the